Shalom. First thing and foremost, many of all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Noise in the gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a lesson through the spirit. Going into this guy Denzel, he made a speech as to how in his movie Gladiator that he kissed a man. And basically the world just went batshit crazy. Like, I don't know why y'all so surprised, man. Like, Denzel is not the exception, you know. It's because he plays these masculine roles and, you know, he's plays these very impressionable characters, to say the least, you know, from Training Day to Glory to American Gangster to Malcolm X to, you know, all these movies, you know, that he's played in. You know, he's a multi-millionaire. Denzel's worth like $400-some million. And he's one of Hollywood's top prominent actors among the Jake race. So I don't know why people were so surprised that he kissed a man and that he that he admitted that he kissed a man in this movie Gladiator 2. But what you think he do behind closed doors, man? See, one thing about you, Jake, you Jakes are simple, man, because you look at these celebrities and you make them gods, which we understand the scriptures goes into the worshiping of idols. And these ain't nothing more but idols to the common person, because people look up to this guy Denzel because of his acting abilities. But remember, he's an actor, okay? And the definition of actor is basically called a hypocrite, okay? He's an actor. You know, he play all these top roles, and you know he have an impression on the audience because of, you know, his dramaticism and all this shit. For one thing, Denzel didn't get to where he is because he's just such a great actor. Even though he's a good actor, I admit that he's talented, but you don't think that this man had to get on a casting couch? Why the hell you think that a lot of these celebrities be high on dope and drugs and praying to these particular deities to garner up the strength to play these roles, man? But you don't think Denzel has been to the Diddy parties, and you don't think he's in league with Jay-Z, Beyonce, you know, all those elites of Jake in Hollywood? You don't think Denzel has been on a casting couch? Okay, if anything, he's a gatekeeper, man. But see, they push this narrative out here like he's just this wholesome family man. You know, he's just this upscale citizen. He's a great father. But yet, you don't know what type of skeletons this man got in his closet, man. All right? But he sold everybody on Training Day. Like, and me personally, Training Day is a great movie, but that's not his best performance by far. But yet, he's gotten an Oscar for that because he played a pure nigga, you know. But yet, people remember him for his role from playing Alonzo because of the particular lines he had, and he would just bat shit out of his mind. But he's played other prominent roles, man, in Malcolm X. He played in Glory. You know, he played in Man on Fire. He played in not Enemy of the State. That was Will Smith. But he's played in several other movies, too, that he's made an impact on the audience. But people are so, oh, my God, Denzel kissing. Yes, Denzel is a mo. Okay? And in this movie, Gladiator, he plays this emperor that ruled for 1 year by the name of Marcus Aurelius, not Aurelius, but I think his name was Marcus. His middle name started with an O, and Marcinus, which was basically a emperor that came into power outside of the traditional Senate means, okay? Meaning that I don't think he came up the natural way as the election. And the history speculated that, I mean, they said he was probably like from rings of Turkey, but then one source said that from the particular regions of Africa, basically mentioning that he was a Jake Caesar and he ruled for a year. Okay, you had what they call the Battle of Antioch, and I believe once he fled, I think he fled to Antioch, and then when they caught his son, when he was in captivity, basically he tried to escape captivity. I believe he was fleeing to Rome, and when he tried to escape captivity, I believe he was injured, and then he was captured, and then, you know, the rest is, you know, history. Basically, he was put to death. They beheaded him, you know, and they basically brought his head back and showed the tokens of the death, man, which was common in them times. But nonetheless, this ain't his first role at the show. That's a big shock to you, but we're not surprised that Denzel has kissed a man. Okay, so I'm gonna play this video. It's like a 3 minute video. I don't know if they're gonna flag it or strike it. I'm not sure. Lord's where they don't, because it seems like to be like some type of generic. What is it called? Gay is called Gatey. And these guys or these particular platforms, they're a little bit finicky, man. So you know what I may do? Because technically, this is really not his content. This is really not his. So I don't think he can really say anything about it. But anyway, let me do some. Let me look this up real quick. Let me see some. Let me see what I'm dealing with, because a lot of times they try to claim copyright and this and that, but yet he got this from somewhere, and this is fair use. Fair use. This is not intended to make any money or any profiting off of it. This is just for educational use and to pretty much edify an audience that that just come into content, or they to be edified or to be built up, and content on what we push and biblical literacy. So let's look and see what it says here. Yeah, I think they're just like some they're just some regular podcast members. I don't think it's gonna cause a ruckus. But I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I ain't even gonna play this, because like I said, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. They're real finicky with this LGBT community. So what I will do, I have a clip here.
Character makes a few remarks throughout the film about having a relationship with other men in the film. So I wanted to ask, how gay is the Roman Empire?
The entire empire, or
And the question is extremely happy. Okay, and I ain't talking about as in happy joy like I had my first son happy, or I got my first piece of punani or kuba happy. Nah, we're talking about as men dealing with men. This was a common thing in the Roman Empire, just like today. Okay, them Caesars and them councilmen, these are the same men coming back in their stead today, man. All right, and who knows, Denzel may actually be, and Esau has the Most High have a very strange way on putting characters back in their roles, man. Because when you look at this guy, Marcinus, if you look at him, he kind of favors Denzel in a little bit. He got the same hairline and everything. So who knows, man? All these actors and actresses and sportsmen and basketball players and UFC, all these men are coming back in their regular lot today. So it's not a surprise to me. They may actually be this guy in a reincarnation, man, because he looks like him, man. You know what I'm saying? And of course, when you look at those old statues of those Roman Caesars, they make them look like Edomites because of the cement color, But I believe one of the statues, they knocked the nose off, which proves he was a Jake, because most of those Jake Caesars, they went about and they knocked the nose off so you couldn't really distinguish whether he was a white boy or Jake, which proves Esau's hatred for our people, man. But, when you go into these courthouses, or when you go into these Congress meetings or these senates and these politicians, these are all these Roman Caesars and these generals and these councilmen and the Senate coming back today. And they all are moles, man, all right? Because that was one thing in Rome, like those men, they wore those short dresses, because it was known that most Caesars, they had wives, maybe one or two, even three, but also they had affairs with other men too. Okay, like Julius Caesar, Antipater, Idumean, all those men, man. Nero, all those men dealt with other men, man, all right? And they like little boys too. So for you people out there that's so dismayed, oh my God, Denzel kissed, that's not a fucking surprise, man. This man has, trust me, Denzel has busted wide open for them JOOs, and he's done his fair of power bottoming too. All right, so it's not a secret. This man has done some very vile acts to get to where he's at in Hollywood. He's not a multi-millionaire or a million. He's a multi-millionaire. He's not one of them because, just because his acting credentials alone, though he is an exceptional actor. I mean, most recent Denzel movies that came out within the last 10 years I've seen. And it's not like he makes a movie every year, But I think I've seen all three Equalizer movies, which, in my opinion, the third Equalizer was kind of weak. All right, I think the first two, really the second one, in my opinion, was probably the best. Some people like the first one, but the third Equalizer, that was kind of weak. You know what I'm saying? It was a little weaker to me. It was all right, but the first two, by hands down, take the cake. I feel like they rushed the third script. I feel like it was rushed, and on top of that, it came out like 5 years later, some shit. So it wasn't all that good, but still a Denzel movie. Made a lot of money. People went to support it. All right. So anyway, let's finish.
Makes a few remarks throughout the film about having a relationship with other men in the film. So I wanted to ask how gay is the Roman Empire?
The entire empire, or I actually kissed a man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
I was going to ask because I just heard about the Paul and Pedro forehead kiss that apparently got cut from the movie.
I'm not sure about that one, but yeah, I kissed the guy full on the lips, and I guess they weren't ready for that yet.
Yeah,
Your
that
character-
dude Pedro Pascal, I believe he's like I think he's like an Asherite if I'm not mistaken. He played that he's Northern Kingdom, Pedro Pascal. He's been coming up lately too. He played that dude Joel from The Last of Us. If you brothers ever played the game, and Esau made a big outcry about him playing that role because if you play the game, Joel was an Edomite, but Pedro Pascal was Northern Kingdom. All right, and he's been coming up in a lot of roles, especially with Denzel Washington. He was in the second Equalizer. He was in The Last of Us, and I believe they renewed it for a second season, which he's going to have a very short role in it because everybody that knows about The Last of Us, Joel died in like the beginning of the game, so to speak. So, but yeah, man, he's been having a lot of prominent roles. And when you see these men off camera, there's something off about them. All right. And it's another interview with him and Denzel, basically stating that, yeah, come over to the crib, we gonna, kick it. And when she was said something about a forehead scene, and he's like, well, I don't know about that. Because usually when men in the ancient world, even in the biblical, like the scriptures say, kiss the son lest thou be angry, a kiss on the cheek or a kiss on the wrist, a form of endearment or to encourage or, love for your brothers and stuff like that. That was a thing that, men did, but it wasn't. But in this case, he probably had a whole full out sex scene, man, and they probably filmed the shit. You know what I'm saying? But they cut it because they knew that, it was probably going to offend a lot of people because, Denzel was a hero among these simpletons, man. Like I said, I'm not taking away from the man's talent. Very talented, but at the same time, all ain't what it seems, man, all right? The demons and gods he prayed to harness the strength to do those roles, trust me, it comes from a place of sorcery, man. But he said a forehead kiss. Men kiss their sons and their daughters on the foreheads, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is talking about an all-out sex scene, and when he's tonguing a man, that shit is off. Like even the mafia, when they kiss each other on the cheek, that's scriptures, man. And that's not a form of sodomy. But the way that they do shit, like as far as the Romans and how they did it, that's sodomy all day. And Denzel ain't nothing more but a temple harlot, man. I mean, he's a sodomite, a male prostitute. That's all he is, man. All right, as well as these other actors. All right, if you in Hollywood, trust me, you've gotten passed around. I don't give a damn what you say. You got a major record label or you were signed to a major record label. Trust me, you've done some things, man. All right. So anyway, let's go here. Deuteronomy 23, and I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, there should be no whores of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the son of Israel, right? Now, when you look up the word sodomite, it goes into, what is it? Quadasha, right? Which means a male temple prostitute. Okay, it says here a sacred person, technically a male devotee by prostitution to licentious adultery, sodomite, unclean. Okay, it says here to our study of Venus and prostituting himself in her. Yep, basically like when you go into harlot here, it goes into like a female harlot, like a temple harlot, like Beyonce. When she turns into that Oshun goddess, and the rituals they have to partake in and the festivities they have to partake in order to get these roles. That's basically that's a temple harlot. And then also they had little boys for pleasure as well, like men. Denzel would fit the category of a sodomite in a sense because he's a male temple prostitute, man. So all these men that get up in Hollywood, which if you do the research on Hollywood, hey, you'll find out that most of those men and producers in Hollywood have violated people and have been violated themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the Walt Disney, you look at what's it, Walt Disney, you got Nickelodeon. You had one series that came out about that TV kids show, and that guy, he never got arrested for it, but yet he was groping up all them children, man. You know, like back in the early '90s, we had those sitcom, like those TV shows, like Saved by the Bell and Sister Sister, and you had those Hannah Montana, and what's another one too? What's this guy's name, man? I forgot. But basically, a lot of those Nickelodeon TV shows, a lot of those kids was getting groped in that, man. Okay, so this ain't nothing new. This has been going on since America's inception, and this was definitely going on during the time of the Greeks and the Romans. So there's no surprise that Denzel Washington has done things with men, because for the simple fact, I mean, shit, he sold his soul. What else he gonna do, right? Matthew 16, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 24, and it says, "Then said Yahushua to his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." And these celebrities, they want to follow Yahushua, man. And believe it or not, all these celebrities know about us. Okay, they all know about the Hebrew Israelites. And you don't think Denzel knows he's an Israelite? Of course he do, because when he played that role of Malcolm X, he broke down on how the concept of how Yahushua, when he mentioned Jesus was a so-called black man, and he broke down on the region he came from being that of colored people. And to order to really get into that role of Malcolm X, he had to know some type of history on him. He had to do the research. And it was a well-known fact that Malcolm X used to come down there and learn from our elders. Okay? So Denzel knows he's an Israelite without a question. He's seen the videos. He know what's up. But, you know, he's so far in Hollywood. And it says here, it says, then Yahushua said unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life for my sake shall find it. And Denzel, he saved his life because, like I said, he's a star, and we know what the scripture said about the star shall fall from heaven. And all these guys are gonna be exposed sooner than later. Okay, the Diddler is just not the only exception. He's just an errand boy on a totem pole. You know, he's like a small gatekeeper. But look, Denzel, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Okay, you know, you get your Hugh Hefners, you got your Silversteins. It's really Amalek is the wizard behind the curtain. And you Jakes are the actors on stage that's going to take the fall for Amalek, man. But even Amalek is going to be exposed. But see, the thing about it is, Amalek don't put himself out there. Amalek don't care about being famous. You see what I'm saying? He just wants the money and the wealth and the control. So you put a regular Amalekite out there, people going to turn a blind eye to it because they're going to, oh, this is a white guy. We ain't surprised. But a notable actor, this is why it's bittersweet of becoming famous in America, man, in Babylon. Because, see, it's bittersweet because you get the fame and glory, but then when the fall comes, it's even worse because now people are looking at you and they want to put you to death. Okay, like this dude, R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's still locked up. Then you got this guy, the Diddler, you know, and then look at Jamie Foxx. Look at the situation. Look at the In Living Color shit. Tommy Davidson Jr., what's his name? Tommy Davidson. You know, the dude that was had a very prominent role on In Living Color. You don't see him no more. You know, what about the Wayne brothers? Definitely Sean and Marlon Wayans. You know, they've have took some rod. You know, especially the Sean, the dude that was the Mo in a Scary Movie. Him, you know, he's definitely done some shit, man. Okay, look at Arsenio Hall, Wesley Snipes. Even Michael J. White, with all the tough martial arts roles he played. It was one movie that I think he played a damn sodomite, man. So it's no surprise there. Tom Cruise, Woody Harrelson, all these men, Tom Hanks, they all are involved in this shit. All right, there's just no surprise. And it says here, for what is a man profited if he should gain the whole world and lose his own soul, right? Because it's like, okay, you got the fame, you got the fortune, you got the money, but your spirit is destroyed, it's tainted. Okay, you have to live with this vile, grotesque act that you've done. So now you have to overly medicate with alcohol and drugs, and you have to constantly be on whatever type of drug of amphetamine that you've been taking to block out those demons, man, which adds more demons. Okay, like half the time Denzel is on movie set, he's probably high as hell. Like I wouldn't doubt for 1 second that when he did Training Day, that nigga was probably high off coke. Okay, because one thing about it, it is known that those actors, man, and anybody that's in showbiz, when they cut the cameras, they going behind the scenes and they getting high. They show that all the time. There was a movie called Maxine that came out, and you know, I think she was like I forgot what she was. I mean, she looked more like a harlot, you know, like in showbiz, but behind the scenes, getting high. Even in that movie Late Night with the Devil, they showed you behind the scenes the top executive dude when they cut the scenes. That nigga was in the back getting high as hell. Even the main dude that pretty much sold out to the Bohemian Grove, when they cut the camera, he was back there snorting coke, man, because they have to be constantly medicated in order to go through these roles. So yeah, these celebrities be high as shit on camera, man. You just can't tell because they tap into a different frequency and the high enhances it. And on top of that, they used to getting high. You know, versus a person that never done it, you can't operate like that, man. But anyway, it says here, lose his own soul, or what should a man give in exchange for his soul? So, yeah, you sell out, then, I mean, it ain't nothing to it. Yahweh Shai can't do nothing with that. But it says here, for the Son of Man should come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he should reward every man according to his works. So, eventually, you know, hey, they all gonna get caught up. Denzel, he's not gonna make it. Okay, he's got his constellation on his side. He's got his fame. He's not a man of the Lord. He's not of the elect. I don't give a damn how good of an actor he is. All right, he's not of the elect, and the Most High is gonna do away with him too. Okay, see, these celebrities, they don't tell you how sick they are. Like a lot of these celebrities, they suffer from chronic illnesses, man, and they'll never tell you about it until one day, oh, Denzel Washington dropped dead at 75 years old from chronic heart failure, but the whole time he was dealing with some shit that he never came out and publicly said it. You see? So, yeah, the Lord got all their number, man. And a lot of them are going to be reserved to get those missiles, too. You know, and it's just what it is. I mean, I ain't got nothing personal against the man. Quite frankly, I enjoy his movies. He has good movies. You know, they're very entertaining. But, I mean, we got to call a spade a spade. It is what it is. All right, if you ain't serving the Most High, then the hell with you. Wisdom of Solomon 14, and I'm going to start at verses, this whole chapter is really good. But let's start at verses 19. It says, for he, pre-adventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all the skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored. Because you have to understand that idols were put on pedestals. Like Jake oftentimes worshiped idols. Even when Jake got out of Egypt, Jake made idols and said that this is what delivered him from Egypt, man. You know, a little toy action figure with a gold WWE belt. Oh, this is real. Oh, this is what got us out of Egypt. A fucking action figure, man, that costs probably $6 in the store today. That's how wicked Jake is. But yet you got this big ship on top of us, leading us through the wilderness, giving us light by night, and giving us a pillar of cloud to shield us from the sun by day, giving us food and all types of miracles. Moses smote the rock and became water. I mean, and yet Jake will rather give credit to idols. And this is why the Lord is going to destroy the 2/3. But it reads here, it says, and this was an occasion to deceive the world. And guess what? You had a show called American Idol, which idolatry is formulated in witchcraft, man. It goes hand in hand. It says to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny, did ascribe the stones and stocks of uncommunicable name. But moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of Yahweh, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, so that those great plagues called they peace. Right? Because, you know, the Lord brought plagues upon our people as well, you know, and put Jake to flight and scattered Jake into the four winds. But it reads, for while they slew their children in sacrifices, because a lot of these celebrities, they do sacrifice their children, or use secret ceremonies, Bohemian Grove, the Council on Foreign Relations. You have several councils out there that these rich men and that even the boule go to partake in rituals in order to keep their fame up, you know. So all these celebrities, they meet up, what you call, I think it's called like the Church of Hollywood or some shit, or the Church of Satan or the Church of Babylon, the Church of Hollywood, something like that. It's basically rooting Satanism, and all these celebrities have to go there. From Will Smith to Jada, you know, to Chris Rock, all these Jakes, man, because they all part of a cult. Like, I remember a long time ago, I think his name wasn't Bob Arum, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the promoter for what's this what boxing for that? Because you had PBC, and then you had PBC, and you had the other one. I forgot, but I remember it was Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. This was probably like 6 years ago when they had met. I think Errol was he was speaking to, basically him and Crawford was getting into a debate on who gonna knock who out, and I think his name is Bob Arum. If I'm not mistaken, but Slocky if I'm off. But brothers that's into boxing know who I'm talking about. But he was basically telling Errol, he said, "Look, stay as far away from this guy as possible," you know. And Errol and you know they were selling tickets because really they all are connected. Them niggas be cool behind closed doors and shit. They fuck prostitutes to get all types of shit. Like it's all camera show, right? So Errol and Crawford was kind of arguing back and forth, and then dude came in, the Edomite dude, which I think he's an Amalekite. He said, "Look, at the end of the day, we're all frat brothers. We're all fraternity brothers." He said that. You know, he like we all say he said we're all brothers. We all in this business to make money. So that let me know right there that the shit is all really scripted at the end of the day. Because I believe after Errol had lost the fight to Crawford, he was like, the reason why Errol lost, and I know this is off the comment off the topic, but he has a very notable voice in boxing. The dude is like 96 years old, so he knows. He said the reason why he lost, he says because Spence can't fight southpaws. He's a southpaw himself, but he can't fight a southpaw. He said if Terrence fought him orthodox, he would have beat Terrence. But Spence only fought 2 left-hand fighters in his career, and he's a left-hand fighter himself. It's kind of awkward. But that dude is the one I'm talking about. He was like, yeah, we're all frat brothers. So Mike Tyson, all them niggas, man, they all involved in this shit in one way or another. Okay, you don't get multi-million dollars unless you on that comfy off that couch, man, that casting couch. But it says for while as they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously and grieved him in adultery. And by the way, I'm the first person that said when I saw that fight between Spence and Crawford, it just had a dark energy behind it. I'm like, something ain't right about it. And I was looking at the fight. I said either dude throwing it or he getting his ass beat. And I'm like, the reason why he's losing like that, I'm like, because I'm like, he can't fight a southpaw. And if you know fighting, you'll understand. And I'm like, when I saw the third round, I'm like, yeah, he ain't gonna come back and pull it off. I'm like, he's fighting. Crawford is expeditious, so he can fight on both sides, which makes him dangerous. He's just as good on his left side and his right side. I'm like, he gonna fight him southpaw the whole night because he gonna keep running into that fucking right jab. He gonna keep running into it. It's awkward, you know. Just to put that out there, you know, people like, nah, that ain't why. I'm like, dude, he knew how to beat this dude, you know. I'm a boxing fan, so, you know, I get into it. But I'm like, he knows how to beat this. It's not the fact that his skills are so much greater. He just knew the formula to beat this dude. And that's just what it's about. He outthought him, you know. But anyway, neither here nor there. Because like I said, they all are part of the same cult. But it says, for whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, which is those ceremonies, it says, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, right? Because, you know, they pass their wives, they commit adultery, they sleep with other men, they sniffing coke off each other's cracks. And it's a shit show that goes down in Hollywood, man. And Amalek got the receipts on all these jakes, and this is why you pay them that money to keep their ass in line. Because let's just say if Jake came out and exposed the whole shebang, that shit'll fall, man, you know. But in retrospect, they'd kill a lot of Jakes. But it says here, so it says they neither kept their lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by adultery. So they was popping each other's wives, sleeping with each other's men, just a mess, right? So it says, so that there reign in all men without exception, blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgiveness of good turns, dividing the souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanliness, man. Okay, those unnatural affairs between men and men, women and women. This was a common thing. Okay, and Hollywood is no different. It says, for the worshiping of idols is not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. But for either they are mad when they be merry, or prophecy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. But for as much as trusting is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. All right. So basically, it was all centered around idol worship, man. All right. So I'm gonna end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Makes a few remarks throughout the film about having a relationship with other men in the film. So I wanted to ask, how gay is the Roman Empire?
The entire empire, or I actually kissed the man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
I was going to ask because I just heard about the Paul and Pedro forehead kiss that apparently got cut from the movie.
I'm not sure about that one, but yeah, I kissed the guy full on the lips, and I guess they weren't ready for that yet.
Of course not.
Look at that. They're all moles. All these Hollywood Pastor was saying about it. Denzel tried to portray, I'm not with it. Man, he's a fucking mole. He bent over, man. He's a bend over Billy.
Yeah, back from the 70s.
Yeah, if you up there in that world,
hell yeah,
you're a fucking bend over Billy, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You bend over wide and let that motherfucker go in.
Exactly. That's why they're on all kind of drugs, man.
Go ahead, bro.
Exactly. That's why they, like Denzel, he be high on coke, heroin all the time. He got a detox before he doing movies. Yeah. All them people in Hollywood are on drugs because why? They know what they did. They did some foul shit.
Yeah. Holly weird.
They're
weird.
They're weirdos. They're creeps.
These motherfuckers are channeling spirits, and after the movie's done, then they got to go and deprogram.
Right. Yeah.
So they can get back. That's why Johnny Depp is all bugged out. He don't know. He don't on any given day. He don't know who he's going to be.
He might be a pirate. He might be a pirate.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow could come on him at any given moment.
Yeah.
He changes personalities like you change your fucking underwear.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's just the money.
That shit is demonic. Hey, them actors and actresses, they're suffering from multiple personality disorder.
That's right.
Because they're taking on spirits, man.
Right.
That's right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.